sad, they spread the glad. Smiling takes little time, even though some think it a crime. Just be you, and you will know what to do. Happiness is infectious, but it ain't a disease. When you are sad, feeling blue, just remember, blue ain't your color, just remember. When you are sad, blue ain't your color. Cha 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 cha. Cha 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 cha. Get yourself a playlist, put music you can't resist, make it an infinite loop. It will give your blues the scoop. Turn those feelings around so you can put them in the ground. Digging deep, grab root and growl, give the world something to keep. Go on the prowl, find those frowns, turn them upside down. When you are sad, feeling blue, just remember, blue ain't your color, just remember.
What's up, Greenie? How goes it?
You are sad, blue ain't your color. For when you help others, that is when you feel it too. All the sisters and brothers, get them out of the blue. You know what to do. You know what to do.
Hope you're doing well. Still.
For when you help others, that is when you feel it too. All the sisters and brothers, get them out of the blue. You know what to do. You know what to do. When you are sad, feeling blue, just remember, blue ain't your color, just remember. When you are sad, blue ain't your color. When you are sad, feeling blue, just remember, blue ain't your color, just remember. When you are sad, blue ain't your color.
Stepping from the night, I can give you quite the fright.
Welcome in. Welcome in. How we doing?
Are we flashes of another place?
Okay, I think that's too quiet. I think that should be good. I can probably still be heard over the music, and the music can still be heard. It's a background music. We doing good? Everything fine?
Getting ready to sleep tight. Laying
What's up, Jade?
off a light. Getting to the feeling just right.
How are you this evening?
Light of my night. They were standing out of light, looking like a piece of the night. I froze in my sheets. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't feel any heat. Chill to the bone. Wait. He can't
Surviving? I am doing well. I'm doing very well, actually.
at all real.
No complaints from me. Have a few things, well, have a thing I thought we might want to talk about tonight. Something that's actually very near and dear to my heart. Video games. And, oh my God. So, okay. Sony and, quite a lot of the major publishers are throwing around a statistic that 80% of their game sales are now entirely digital. 80%, right? This is presented to their shareholders and public as organic, inevitable shift. The consumers are preferring the digital medium. And what? We just woke up one day and decided that we didn't want physical discs anymore? The consumer preference isn't actually an honest metric. They're not measuring it. They're basically putting their thumb on the scale. We have hardware bottlenecks. Millions of consoles are sold discless, digital editions straight out of the box. And so your users have no chance but to buy digitally because it's the console they could afford at the time. Second, there's the artificial scarcity. Physical copies are only, high dollar collector's editions and stuff like that or whatnot. So, or there's two sides of that. Where the other side is that we're forced to skip physical copies at launch if you want the digital bonuses. So, yeah, they're pushing us to digital medium rather than physical copies. I mean, how many actually prefer? How many of you actually prefer just being able to download your game and not have to worry about it versus, having a physical copy? Well, right, they can't take it away. Wouldn't you prefer to have a physical copy? Well, not just take it away, modify it. I mean, look at Stranger Things. They've modified Stranger Things to where people thought it was a Mandela effect, where they actually had to come out and say that, no, we edited it because we liked it this way better. I mean, how long before we can't recognize the movies and TV shows because they've had to change them so much to keep up with modern methods, modern audiences, not to use the other vernacular for that, but I'm just saying, to keep it up, modernize it. What? The next time we're going to open up, Columbo? He's going to be using a cell phone? Shilling Apple products? I'm not even being facetious here. They're actually planning on doing stuff like that. Where they're actually going to have AI insert ads into your movies, your TV, your streaming. And right. Well, why not offer us the chance to purchase the physical copy? And if you purchase a physical copy, you just get the digital download. They just mail you the physical copy. Wouldn't that make more sense? But see, they want to sell you that revocable license. Because you're not actually purchasing the product on a digital medium. You're not buying it. It's a license. It's a license to use the product. And I hate to tell you, but Apple started this crap. They sold physical items that you did not own. You were licensing the product from them. I came out again. I mean, it's why I don't own Apple products. I won't own Apple products because they started this years ago. Okay, that's kind of funny, but yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to modify it that much. They're just going to be, instead of Dirty Harry's classic, 44 Magnum, he starts talking about a Desert Eagle or the Cazul, however many other, biggest handguns on the market. Everything that is a quiet advertisement, they're going to modify. I mean, wait for AI to get so good that they'll even modify the cars that they're driving. Oh, Ford paid us more this month. So now they're all driving black Explorers or Expeditions. Oh, next month, it's going to be Tahoes. Or Honda Pilots if they still make them. You get the point. And, one of the things I'd like to see is like a permanent download. Rather than having to engage with their stuff, just let me permanently download it. Even if it has to check the serial number and the person with who bought it. Double check it against some kind of identifier you gave them. I understand that they need to protect their product. So it'd be a lot harder to pirate if it comes, cashed in with just a simple password that you set when you purchase it. Or a simple two-factor authentication. GameStop's already dead. It's on borrowed time. The only reason why it's still even open is because of Pokemon now. Let's be honest with that. GameStop has been slowly dying since they went more digital. Well, if you have the right car, if you have the millions of dollars to get the right photovoltaic paints, or photovoltaic, I think I used that right. I mean, it's extremely rare, but I'm pretty sure that that's not too far away. But, the biggest thing that they failed at was making a console that was worthwhile. I mean, sorry, actually, I'm going to speak on your point, Green Jeans, where GameStop, what's going to happen? It's dead. The secondary market's gone. Which is a problem because that's what used to keep their stuff alive. The secondary market is what kept Nintendo going for years in between consoles. So that people were excited when the new one came out. Now what? You had the Switch, then the Switch 2 came out, and people really didn't show up. I'm not even going to try and talk about how good or bad it was. I don't really know. What I do know is that it didn't sell. Not nearly as much as they wanted to the point where they had to back off on making them. They were expecting sales to be a lot more. But not only did they not give people a reason to buy it, it wasn't really that much of a big deal compared to the Switch 1. Switch 2 wasn't really that much better. And I think they forgot that a lot of these physical media, whether it was a cartridge, whether it was a CD, people would break them and so they'd buy them again. But they also forgot that the secondary market would buy, like even GameStop had brand new copies. They weren't just a secondary market. But also by killing the rental stores, they killed the guaranteed as soon as that movie or that video game released, they killed that initial sales push. They killed the push for people to see it. It's like, oh, hey, new movie coming out at the rental store. I worked at a rental store when movies came out. We'd have like 10 or 20 copies of a movie depending on how popular it was. And I lived in a small town. I can only imagine in bigger places where they might have 100 copies. Imagine how much money that brought in the studios or the video game companies at the height of video game rentals. It was a big deal. And I mean, the fact is that we don't own this stuff anymore. So we can't even have a secondary market. And the problem is that our consumer rights are being eroded. Like, the digital loophole is that the first sale doctrine, it used to protect physical media. Where the first sale doctrine is, where is that note? It fully protects your right to lend, sell, or destroy the physical good. But the problem is digital downloads slip through that because a digital download isn't considered a purchase. It is a license to use. And for over a decade, they've intentionally used buy now, purchase now. And that was entice you to mimic that you actually owned it. But you didn't. You don't actually own it. Although there is some pushback, but it's just starting. Well, yeah. See, and that's the problem is that they're not telling you that you're renting a game for $60. Sure, you're renting the game for $60, $70 in perpetuity, sort of, as long as they feel like hosting the game. You know, that's the problem is that that's the other side of it is that they're forcing moratorium on games. They're forcing, oh, you can't buy that game anymore. And without any physical copies floating around, you won't even have access to the game. You know, they're not allowing you to permanently download the game, but they're also not willing to permanently host it. Like, shouldn't they be offering that? You know, you bought it. You know, am I going to start renting my clothes? Do I have to return them at the end of the month if I can't make my payments? See, that's what I mean by the death of ownership. Just looking at what's happened in video games, you know this is just the start. They're doing this to your hobby. I mean, if they can make Pokemon Go fully digital, they would. There goes another hobby. You know, that's been their dream forever, is to take away our ownership of the things we love. I mean, we're already seeing that happen with cars. I mean, they've been trying to get people to rent cars in perpetuity for decades. It's called a lease. And they try to make it sound good. They try to make it whatever. It's garbage. Music, yeah, you go on to Spotify. You set up a playlist. You rent the time per month. You pay for it by month. But you don't actually own it anymore. You're not buying music. You're actually, and this is the thing that I hate. Yeah, I'm playing, you know, in the background, AI created music. I wrote the music, but AI is performing it. Do you know why I don't see a problem with this? Because I'm not hurting anyone. Whereas if I purchase music anymore or listen to music, even music that I love, it's not going to the artist. It's going to the label. The label that has constantly subsumed the industry. You know, the people. I mean, Michael Jackson fought against it. The king of pop couldn't defeat the labels. And I think we often forget that both Hollywood and music started by way of the mob. Where do you think they got the initial money for all of that stuff when nobody else would give it to them? Why do you think the practices are so predatory? Because it was started by the mob. It's just the way they've always done it. You know, that's why I don't pay for music anymore. I don't go to Spotify. I used to have a Pandora account. Well, I stopped listening to popular music altogether. I started just making my own. Because, I mean, just looking at how screwed up musicians are. Pick one. Show me a musician with his head screwed on straight. Show me a musician that wasn't exploited by her label. Oh, wait. Because you can't. You can't show me one that literally is still sane. I mean, this goes back to my thought process on I just avoid anybody that is below 18 in any industry. I won't watch a streamer, I won't watch a YouTuber that I think is under the age of 18 because they're being exploited. They can't enter a legal contract. So the only people that can do that for them is their parents. And if you think that that doesn't have certain levels of control, you got another thing coming. I guarantee you, Mr. Beast's mom still has a controlling interest in the Mr. Beast name. Because she was the one that had to sign the contracts when he first started. You think she gave it all back once he turned 18? Britney Spears, hell. What's his name? Coogan? The original Uncle Fester from the TV show was actually a child star all the way back in the 19-teens and 20s. His parents spent all of his money, even though he was the, what is his name? James Coogan? Yeah, anyway. He was a child star all the way back in the beginning of Hollywood, and his parents exploited him. They actually made a law, you know, that they've since subsumed, you know, but that's how conservatorships ended up starting, was because of Coogan. What was his name? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Jackie Coogan. Okay, I was right. Jackie Coogan. But yeah, his early career, he was boned. He was penniless. You know, that's the problem is that this story isn't just, I mean, yes, Britney Spears is the one that's topical now. But Coogan, Alice in not Alice in Wonderland, but what's her name? Over the Rainbow. The actress for that was abused. You know, and then you get into music. You know, Michael Jackson's the easiest one to point at. How he was abused all of his life from the time he was 5 all the way up. You know, I mean, what are you supposed to do? You know, if you want to be relatively forthright, upstanding, however you want to put it, I do my best to do as little harm as possible. And watching over and over again these musicians come out and say how abused they were by the industry. So much so that the next wave does it again. I mean, Britney Spears, Diddy, Usher, Jay-Z. You know, I mean, all of these people constantly abuse or are abused. Because then you look at Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus. How much of these kids do we have to watch grow up? And what? They're a sad story? Oh, it's not our fault? Well, we're the one that paid their way. We're the ones that watched them, that bought their records. We're the ones that made them into something that's available for exploitation. Christina Aguilera. But you understand what I mean. You know, we're the ones that allow the exploitation by purchasing these things. It's why I won't be purchasing a PlayStation. I mean, they're literally cannibalizing their own company right now. I mean, how many of their different studios are they either dissolving, selling off? You know, I mean, Xbox has done the same thing. Video game industry is going through a huge turnover because they allowed the budgets to inflate. I mean, why does it cost $200 to $300 million just to make the game? And then when you add in the marketing budget, it's $500 million. That game has to make $500 million just to be profitable. And now they're switching over to whales of the industry. You know, where, what is it, the 80-20 rule? Tiny percentage of the spending is the one that's keeping the whole thing afloat. 80% of your funding comes from 20% of your people. You know, that's why they keep chasing like a mobile market or the always online live service market. But the core flaw is that they're misunderstanding the finite nature of consumers. There's only so much. Like, you release a really good game, people are going to switch over to it. Well, that means the game that was funding this really good game over here lost all its attention and all its subscribers. They lose their money, so it makes the new property, no matter how popular it is, fail because its budget was too high, because it requires $500 million. By the time it gets that $500 million, it's already failed. The board of directors is bored with it, so they move on. They want to go to the next one, but they don't realize that 10 to 15 million copies of a video game in the first month is doable, but it's garbage. It's one of the reasons why I'm transitioning away from playing so many video games, you know, and just, I'm going to do more talking. You know, I'm going to curate what I buy. I'm going to curate who I put my money to. You know, we have to pay more attention to where we throw our money. We have to pay more attention to who we support. You know, because we're not just passive consumers. We have a choice. Don't let the fear of missing out win. You know, people are surprised that after Civil War, I just stopped watching Marvel movies. You know, it's like I've never watched them. Well, maybe not Civil War. I think I watched Ragnarok and Doctor Strange, that I think technically came after. But that was pretty much it. That was the end. And because the things didn't change, it didn't get better. No matter how much I liked Doctor Strange, and no matter how much I liked Thor Ragnarok, I realized that they weren't the right character. You know, it just wasn't. It wasn't fun for me anymore. And that's okay if it was fun for you guys. But I know for most people, you know, most of the modern Marvel movies, not counting Spider-Man or Deadpool Wolverine, I don't know a whole lot of people that are excited for Doomsday. You know, Cameo Fest. Because that's all it's going to be. That's all they're going to have time for with all the, you know, all the actors that they have added. And the plot leaks sound like garbage. You know, I mean, they're chasing ghosts. You know, and the problem is that also the gaming companies don't realize that they're trying to sell to the wrong audience. Your average age of a gamer now is 36 years old. And I almost guarantee you that's the same as the average age of the moviegoer. I could be wrong. It could be like a little bit here, a little bit there, you know, but, you know, mid-30s sounds about right. Because they're the ones with the disposable income now. 20-somethings don't have much disposable income. I mean, with how expensive everything is, they don't have the money anymore. You used to have teenagers that used to have summer jobs just to pay for their gaming. I know, I was one of them. You know, I had the Super Nintendo. I had, to tell my age, so I had to sit there and I had to work my butt off during summer so I could afford the games I wanted, so I could play during school days. That aside, I passed my classes. I was actually, you know. But gaming was a luxury that I worked for. It wasn't something that was just taken for granted like it is now. You know, we have to have all of these games now. I mean, how many people do you know are still playing some of the same games they played for 5 years? I mean, what, you guys probably still pull out, you know, the Mario Golf game on your Switch. You pull that out and play it. I'm sure you guys still occasionally pull out Ark, too. And I don't even think you guys play the newest one. I think you still play, like, the original. But don't quote me on it. I don't remember which one you guys play. But the point is that that's most people. Most people pull out the games that they like. Most don't play the newest games. Most can't afford it. Or if they do, they buy a new one and realize, I didn't really like it. So they go back to their old game. You know, I remember when me and my buddies would sit there with our Nintendo 64 and we would play GoldenEye. You know, and then we'd trade it out with Xbox and play Halo. And then when we got the GameCube, we'd play the other Bonds, because there was The World Is Not Enough and Everything or Nothing. Wait, was Everything or Nothing? Nightfire. It was one that wasn't actually based on one of their movies, but for the GameCube, it was the best Bond experience for multiplayer. It's still my hands down favorite Bond game was the GameCube's Bond Nightfire. You know, the fact that I can't find some of these titles in these new digital libraries that you just can't find. I mean, if it's digital online all the time, why can't I buy my older games? Nintendo has done a good job from what I understand of keeping that going, but let's be honest, I don't have a Nintendo. Nintendo got too happy, so I stopped buying their stuff. You know, the very game system that made me a gamer. I grew up gaming on Nintendo. Nintendo Entertainment Center, the NES, the original. Green Jeans, I'm actually getting to that. You just beat me to the punchline of this whole conversation. Is that there actually is something we can do. I was setting up, you know, the whole idea, but I think you guys get it. It's the death of innovation. We're in a global hardware crisis where people can't buy the stuff that they need to make their game system proper. You know, it's actually hurting them. I mean, why do you think streaming's still a thing? Why do you think people watch streamers play video games? Because they can't afford them themselves. Or they're waiting to see if the game's any good to afford it themselves. But nice, Green Jeans. But here's the thing. You put all of this stuff together. You know, consoles were lost leaders. They can't beat PCs. Consoles had to branch out. Well, that was their problem. They branched out and tried to become the everything. You know, they tried to rule your couch. Problem is that most people... Well, I know that I'm probably a little bit ahead of the curve. I don't really use my couch. I have a couch. But the wife and I, we sit here at both of our own desktops and play our video games. We don't group play a game because we have two different speeds we play at. You know, and consoles are getting way out of priced. I mean, if they actually wanted to even keep up with PCs, consoles would have to be $1,800. And people were sitting there bitching over the price of the Steam machine. You know, and also remember that there's a 30% tax on every piece of software you buy. Meaning that every game, I don't care if you buy it off of Steam, whatever, the publisher has to, you know, get their 30% cut. Minimum. Or, sorry, not publisher, distributor. And that's if it's only going through one market. And now they're by putting a moratorium on physical media, they're even ensuring that 30% dwindles. Because now you have to buy your PlayStation games through the PlayStation Store. Right. System-specific games. They think that's actually keeping people buying their system. And But they forget that goodwill goes a long way. And it made more sense. Well, okay, to be perfectly honest, Jade, Fable could always be played on a PC. Well, not always. Sorry, that came later. But with Microsoft's transition to everything's an Xbox, which failed miserably, but you know, nothing is Xbox exclusive. But the other mistake consoles made was making unifying architecture for the games. So I hate to tell people this, but there is absolutely no difference between a PS5 and a new Xbox, which I can't remember what the newest Xbox is called. They're the same architecture. They're the same stuff. You're not getting any better graphics out of an Xbox or a PS5. They're the same thing. Because they unified the architecture. They're now like x86 architecture. They're all using AMD. I mean, it used to be the PS5 or the PS, you had their own cell chips. They made their own chips. Yeah, I do it all the time. I connect a PS5 controller when I play certain games via USB-C. I mean, they're literally plug and play now. And especially if you go through Steam. Steam has excellent controller support. There's no reason to have a console anymore. And the problem is that the console companies did that to themselves. You want a truly universal system that everybody can use and even use from your couch? Buy a PC. Hell, buy a Steam machine. And I'm not sponsored by Steam. I'd love to be, but nobody is. That Steam machine is worth more than you understand. It's an upgradable console that's also a PC that can fit under your TV. Wii controllers, I think, use Bluetooth, so you should be able to pair, if you can figure out how to set a Wii controller. Or no, Wii controllers don't use Bluetooth. That's right. The Switch controllers do. Yes and no. They do, but it is very different. Because I'll tell you one thing, Jade. No game company is going to take the risk of pissing off Steam and pulling their game from their marketplace. Well, technically, your game is rental. Steam, you don't piss off Steam. Because Epic tried it and it almost killed them. They barely release their games ahead of Steam anymore. Steam holds a lot of power and you're technically a functional monopoly. But the problem is that this is a monopoly that's actually working in our favor. Now, once Gabe dies, the CEO of Steam, we might have to re-look at how it's done and who's in power. But I have games in my Steam library that I legit cannot play on my system because they're so old. I have a bunch of old Command & Conquer games. Oh, Epic has their own store. Epic runs their own store. They will release games on their store. See, most people don't even know it exists. But Epic tried to be Steam. they failed miserably. Right, ancient DOS games on CD. You have to do an virtual machine within your machine to even get it to play. I bought, I think they called it the Decade of Destruction. So it was everything up to a certain point. And I'm mad because Command & Conquer Generals still is my favorite Command & Conquer, well, my favorite base game. Base building, game. But it's not meant for the pixels on my screen. And they've never re-released it because it's EA. And even if EA really did do it, I wouldn't purchase it. Because EA hasn't learned their lesson. I mean, shoot, EA is now putting ads in games. I don't even know if you guys saw that. But EA is now has the architecture in their games so that people can buy advertising plays. You can't even opt out. You buy a game and then you get advertised to in the fucking game. That pisses me off more than anything. Like, think about it. You say you're a big fan of FIFA, right? Wait till all of those on the stand, where you're playing your game, and all those advertisements that used to be generic and kind of funny and little like nods to the in-game world. Not necessarily in FIFA, but now they're going to be real-world ads that can change depending on who pays for the advertising space. That used to be part of the immersion in a game. Now they're putting the real world in your game. Yeah. Talk about pissing me off. EA hasn't learned their lessons, so... Which pains me because I love SimCity. SimCity is one of my favorite games of all time. Most people do, even if they don't realize it. I'll be honest, most people... I mean, I've had a Steam account since... I don't know. I've had a Steam account for a long friggin' time. What was it, 25 years? How do I get to there? I know I had the badge for it. 15 years, sorry. Or wait, 17 years. I have been a member of Steam since 2009. If that tells you anything. And I think it's only 17 because I couldn't remember my original. Because how old is Steam? Software client in September 2003. Yeah, I almost guarantee you. I had one by 2004. Because I remember me and my buddies playing Counter-Strike. Hey, makes sense. See, but that's the point, is that Steam is a good marketplace. It is a good company to support so far. Like, I don't even understand why people sit there and bitch about the Steam machine, because it's like, look, they did the best they could with what they had. And people forget that Xbox and PlayStation have been bending them over a barrel, and Nintendo, since their inceptions. I mean, I love my PlayStation. My PlayStation 2 was my favorite one. We had a PlayStation 3, but that was the last one. Because it wasn't as good as the PlayStation 2. Sure, it had better games, better graphics, but it wanted too much from me. You know, the PlayStation Network. I fucking hate that thing. I hate when consoles go online. I do. You know, maybe I'm just old, but hey, whatever. But let me do the final thought of this portion. Like, look, this doesn't have to end in despair. There is an alternative. Like, most people don't even realize there is an alternative to this. Retro console market. You know, there's Game Boys, but they're not Game Boys. You know, there's retro consoles that are worth buying. What was it? Retro Mod? Anyway, I don't know why I didn't, you know, actually have that up, but right now, retro consoles are at a $4 billion industry. That's right now. And they're only set to surge. What happens when these retro companies start making buku bots? By being offline. By being you own it. True ownership. Retro consoles are the only way to go right now. Sure, the graphics may not be as good, but hey, you can afford it. Because, let me see here. No, not, I'm not looking. Megacade? Right, okay, see, there you go, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to find... Because they're not just retro consoles in and of themselves. Yeah, Mod Retro has the M64, which is an N64 gaming system. But some of these also sell their own games. Oh no, I'm talking about, like, I understand that hundreds of classic games in a mega console. Sure. But these companies still sell their own games. Like, Retro Mod actually has, like, a Game Boy Color. But it also, they have their own unique games for it. They're still selling some of the games, or maybe they're independent games that weren't owned by Nintendo, so they can put them back into a cartridge. Pushing that up to the forefront, I think, is very important. Like, pick whichever one you want. I mean, I don't know which one. Like you said, Megacade. But I don't like the idea of putting everything in one console, because you still don't technically own the physical copy of the game. It's just in the game. It's in the console. You can't buy new games for it. You can't swap out. Like, sure, there should be, like, you know, cartridges that have like 1,000 games on them now. But also with the hardware being so limited right now because of fuck you AI, they have to use older hardware that nobody's buying. You know, DDR3 and 2. It's kind of RAM, people. So they're kind of limited in what they can do, so they have to do... It's back to the old age of innovation. I mean, people don't realize how innovative they had to get with storing the games, with putting them on these little tiny chips to get everything you need. We're at that stage again. Only now we can do a lot more with what we have. We have better architecture, better code languages to use, so that we can continue this process much more than I think people really understand. Like, we can take it back to the classic and then take it back to where we want it to be. And I don't know if you understand how important that really is. The idea that you can, have these indie game developers release, a cartridge version of their game and actually have it be viable, to have it be a reason. I mean, Hollow Knight's not that big of a game. And it was super popular. You could put that onto a cartridge. You could have it play on a little Game Boy. Sure, it might be a little difficult, but we adapted when I was kids. When I was a kid. You played on those small screens. You learned how to do it. And you weren't connected all the time. You could take it with you. And the newer, at least with Retro Mod, the one that I was looking at, it's a metal case. Like the body of it's aircraft aluminum. If I remember right, they said something about having like sapphire glass so that it doesn't break. It's using modern cell phone technology, that to make those game consoles. At least in Retro Mod, the one I was looking at. Because, it had classic Tetris. It had some of the classic games, and it had games I'd never even heard of, so I just assumed they're original games. Imagine thumbing your nose at the bigwigs, looking at them and asking, indie devs, make games for this. Rules of engagement giving me my achievement to the nevermore that'll lead course. Do you understand what that really means? That's taking back ownership. Imagine also if you start teaching or learning how to do that with movies. We have the density of storage. We have that capability to put our bookcase worth of DVDs on smaller stuff. I don't know how to describe how much more of the future that is. That's what I saw. And this death of ownership is just, it's so wrong. How long before you own nothing? Just like they keep saying, you'll own nothing and be happy. No, we won't. If we keep letting them do this. Video games. We already did it with cars. We already did it with, they're trying to do it with cars, but we already did it with Hollywood, with our movies and TV shows. We let them take that away from us. We didn't realize it at the time. But do you realize how hard it is to get a real copy of a movie or something you want? Sure, you can go into Walmart and still buy some of them, but it's fewer and fewer. It's harder and harder. To plan a word or two to give the killer of you, then spring the trap on this little sap. Do you understand how hard this is getting? How we have to make them pay. That's our win. We have to make them pay for this. And I don't mean like, I'm just saying vote with your wallet. I realize how that sounds. Like, no. They can convert, they can do whatever they want, but if we don't buy it, they don't make any money. Which means they have to pay. And sure, it might mean that we lose some things that we really love to get things that we'll really love. You know, you got to realize that our back's against the wall. Like, really understand that this is important. We really are backed against a wall. You take games? What do you got left? What entertainment do you have left? They've already taken movies and TV. They take games. They already did it with books. It's a lot harder to get a physical copy of a book. You know, I mean, what's going to happen if you try to buy a... Oh, they've already taken your music. You know they have. Go find it. Go find it in a format you can buy.
Sleep well.
Right? That's what I'm saying is that they've already done this. We know the path. We know the trajectory. We have to do something about it. And there is something we can do. Right? Singles? Man, that's how I found so many bands that I liked. Buying $2 and $5 singles. You know, the actual discs. But I will be right back. I'm going to run my ad. So I'll see you guys in 5.
Told him things were about. Dawnbreaker had fear and constant strife. He lived his life piece out of grass. He saw in the air that star of fear. Memories of a pair, people he held dear. Now colored with hate, defeat was its fate. Bonded from rooftops, he got
run, hide, heal, repair, repeat as necessary. Running through the night air, hide behind that tree. Heal your scratches, repair that motor in patches. Dodge, weave, and run, drop what you don't want. Gotta hide, can't fight, gotta make it to daylight. Hooks and gibbets, man, this is the pits. All we wanted to do was have a little fire, but that was its cue to come and make a pyre. Forced to play a game, trying to tame its flame. All we wanted to do was have a little fire, but that was its cue to come and make a pyre.
Is it truth?
A game, trying to tame its flame.
I hate to tell you, but how long before your hobby's gone?
Repeat as necessary, running through
Well, yeah, LARPing, sure. But D&D's already going subscription only. They're trying to force people to go into that.
the stresses on crouch, look about.
And I mean, Green Jeans, I know that you have that hobby.
Something so clear, I was just annoyed.
But how long before there's not enough of you to do it? How many people still LARP?
Find fix. How did we get to the sticks? Oh, can't say we haven't given up.
I mean, I hate to tell you, but LARPing is nowhere near where it used to be.
In the mix, I thought
It's already fallen down.
worry about was six. Please make my stick. The stress is high, running through the sticks.
I already lived through the first LARPing apocalypse.
What is going
Vampire the Masquerade.
to be put on?
The Camarilla. It was a nationwide, so actually it may have even been partially worldwide, where all of those games that people were playing were intertwined. Like there was a whole thing about it. I had a buddy that was in the camp,
Oh my.
and I mean, you're right, LARPing, but how long before they make it the books behind a paywall? Oh, we'll just make up our own. Yeah, but how many of you are going to be willing to do that? You know, it's just like with my tabletop gaming. Hasbro's completely fucked that over. You know, it's by luck that I found that my buddy found me, who taught me about Savage Worlds, who constantly updates their stuff, makes just enough money to keep surviving, and that's all they care about. They don't want to be billionaires. They don't want to squeeze every dime out of it. Which is why I'm willing to support them every chance I get. So, I mean... Oh, I'm talking about basically the death of ownership. They're a tabletop game company, you know, like D&D, only... Yes, your flower is a flower. I've been trying to grow mine, but I need more people to stream, or to, you know, that I watch on stream. And welcome in, XO. Basically, we're talking about the death of ownership and how video games, you know, I mean, I don't know if you even pay attention to what's been going on with video games, but PlayStation and Xbox, although Xbox may be waffling on it, basically PlayStation said they're not going to be doing... Right, I'm not talking about free Green Jeans. Yes, there's membership fees, but how long is that going to be possible? How long before some company buys the system you play? How long before it's not there? You know, I mean, LARPing is very small compared to where it used to be. The early 2000s, LARPing was huge. I'd say the heyday was 2000 to 2010. And even 2010, I think, might be stretching it. But, I mean, as much as you enjoy it, as much as you have fun doing it, how many people are still doing it with you? How big are your groups? You know, and that's really the problem. Like the campsites, that's great. You know, I love the fact that you still do it. I'm glad that there's still groups out there that do it. You know, I mean, the SCA, you know, is basically LARPing, you know, but within a certain time period. And that's been so moribund with fees and everything that it's a fraction of itself. You know, and now gaming's a fraction of itself. And I don't mean tabletop, I mean video games. You know, with the moratorium on physical discs. Oh, Xbox now says, well, you know, the newest system might actually ship with a physical disc drive. No, it probably won't. I mean, Xbox just gutted their whole, you know, the whole division. You know, I mean, how much of that's going to be left in 5 years when that system finally comes out? You know, the PlayStation 6. They're not backing off of, you know, not shipping with physical. You know, physical things are going by the wayside because we don't push it. I mean, you couldn't go to a college campus that didn't have some kind of LARP group in it in the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm not saying that it's ever going to go away, Green Jeans. That's not what I mean at all. I'm saying that it is a shadow of its former self. And it's splintered. You know, like you said, there's several different LARPs, different timelines, multiple new, which is great. But how long? How long before people just stop going? Because there's not enough people. You know, are Gen Alphas gonna join? You know, how many people that you LARP with have kids that they bring along? I mean, that's how a bunch of my buddies got into SCA. It's how a bunch of my buddies got into D&D. There's 37 kids. That's impressive. Maybe I'm absolutely wrong. I mean, these are just off the top of my head. I just don't hear people talk about it anymore, other than you. And I knew a bunch of people that LARPed. I never got into it. I was in shipping generally at the heyday, so I didn't really have a chance to get into it. But there's 37 children. Nice. I don't know how to tell you this, but how big is your group then? Because that's a lot bigger than I expected. If there's 37 kids, that means you have a couple hundred people that play? I'm honestly asking. Because my thoughts on that were way different. Yeah, there's a lot to type. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, I assumed that there was a lot fewer, you know, like maybe a group of 50 with like a couple of kids. You know, I mean, we used to have a couple hundred people in Camarillo, you know, going to the local college and wherever else they were allowed to play and, you know, hold their gatherings, which there were different venues. But the point is, I mean, we kind of got off on a tangent, but the point is that these things are dwindling. I hope I'm wrong and that, you know, LARP and, you know, creative games like that are still going. I'm just worried about how much longer. I've watched the death of these things. I mean, I've watched this stuff fall down and die. You know, I mean, and to me, D&D's dead. As soon as Hasbro started changing it up and making it different, I don't even want to play it anymore. It's no fun. You know, and I hate to do that because I do have a lot of friends that play. But I also know that I don't want to support Hasbro. You know, I mean, I don't have my books anymore, and I don't want to buy new books because that's giving money to Hasbro. And I found a better system for what I like to do, for how I like to play. I think Savage Worlds is the superior system. You know, but just like with retro consoles, I think that's the way to go. Make these other things bigger that aren't trying to harm you. You know, make your choices. That's what I really mean, is making your choices. You know, find what means something to you and stick to it. Green Jeans, it's LARPing. You know, for those of you that play video games, find a retro console. I mean, you can still hook it up and stream it if you're a streamer. About 50-ish people. Okay. Right. I mean, there's not even good places to do it anymore, is there? There used to be. I mean, in SCA, they used to bring their own tents, like period-specific tents. I mean, my buddy had a Norse breakdown bed. You know, the kind the Vikings used to use on raids, where it was just poles and ropes for a box spring, and then you put your feathered pallet on top of that, your mattress. And you had basically the comforts of home. You know, I mean, that's impressive. When I was in the Ren Fair, I mean, we lived in cabins, in period-specific housing for the summer that I was there. You know, it was 3 months. We did this. You know, and these are the kind of things that we're losing because we're losing physical media. We're losing people's ability to go and do things, to lose the physical media. Do you understand why it's such a big deal to me to lose the physical media of video games? Because that means we're going to be losing books. Nice. That's smart. You know, I mean, but that's kind of the point I'm trying to make here, Green Jeans, is that your LARP is a physical media. How long before they digitize that? You know what I mean? How long before that goes away? How long before gatherings like that just get to being too much problem and you just do it strictly through Discord? Do you understand what I mean? It's this larger issue of people allowing the digital world to take over. Right. You know, and I don't mean like too much problem for companies, but too much problem for people. Why should I go to Tyler, Texas or over to Arizona when I can just do it from home? When I can put on a set of VR goggles and play it from home? You know, I mean, I wish I could give that more. I mean, because I've watched these things dwindle. I mean, Green Jeans, just in the Olympia area alone of Washington, there was probably close to 1,000 people, if not more, that played the LARP. That wasn't counting Seattle, Renton, you know, Portland. That was just the Olympia area alone, that there was 1,000 people that would play. We didn't have to go across all over. You know, the furthest most of them traveled was like a half hour, 45 minutes away. They did that every week. You know, that'd be like you having a LARP group in like Texarkana. You know, where you have 50 to 100 people that play just there. You go to Tyler, Texas to have the 1,000-person game. You know, that takes people from Waco, from Dallas, from there, you know, and they go meet out in the middle of nowhere to play. You know, I mean, and that's the problem of taking away physical media. One, we're not as physical as we used to be. It's not just, like, put it this way. Give me 1 second. I read big, thick books. You know, The Stand. This is a big one. I know people that wouldn't read it because they get too tired to hold on to it. It's too heavy. You know, so they just read it on their phone. We're losing that tactile idea, which is why, you know, when you mention the Mega Arcade and all of the games inside of it, I'm like, that's great, but you need that physical, right? The smell of books. Do you know how many people say they stink now? Because they don't have that association. They don't realize that smell, whether it's good or bad, has more to do with your memories involved than it does with actually smelling bad. You have emotional link to smells. You know, I love the smell of books. I mean, this is one that Tater got me for my birthday last year. I already read it. I mean, I love The Stand. What are you trying to do, greedy? To those people?
That's for blasphemy.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that you just had that. That's great. That's for blasphemy. And you're right. You're absolutely right. But when schools don't teach with books, they teach kids with computers, what happens? They don't understand books. Like it's literally a missing component. Always have Pimp Slap on standby. Yeah, of course. I love the smell of a good book in the morning. Yes. You know, and that's what I'm saying is that, I mean, and you guys know that I'm a big fan of technology. I love tech. Hell, I was one of the first people I knew that actually had a VR system. I got rid of it because it was a gimmick. I was bored with it. It just wasn't worth my time anymore. It wasn't worth the price to play the one game I really liked. Right? Gossip? You know what you're missing? Is the old book sales. And I don't mean for elementary school. Jade can probably... churches used to hold book sales. Colleges used to hold book sales. You want to talk about saving money? I could buy, you know, I think my best was buying 50 books for $10. Yeah. And I was supporting a good cause. Yeah, you can't say yours is. Thrift shop bargain bins had nothing on the old school book sales, dude. I don't know if Jade ever cruised those, but like my local college would hold a book sale. Oh, I am sad to say that my book collection is much smaller than it used to be. I might have 20 now. You have no idea how much that saddens me. I left when I moved. I left a bunch of books. And I moved a long time ago, but I had 1,200 books. Easy. Yeah, valid. I mean, and I'm not counting my gaming books. I'm talking fictional books that I would read. Yes, I assumed you meant 4 decent boxes of books, not boxes of books. But that's why I'm saying that the death of ownership is a bigger deal than we're thinking. That we're losing the tactileness of life. I mean, even what? How many modern cars have touch screens and not physical knobs and buttons? We're losing physical media. And I don't mean just in video games. I don't mean just in books. I mean physical tactile touches. I mean, how many of you ever had a push button phone where you actually pushed the buttons? Right? I once had, all the way back, let's see, I had I had 10 bookcases that were double stacked, meaning that I had one set and another book in front because the bookshelves were deep enough that I could double stack, with books turned on top where they would fit. And I still had 3 or 4 boxes sitting off to the side that I couldn't fit on the bookshelves and needed another bookshelf or 2. You know, I mean, it is so hard to explain to modern kids, 20-somethings, what they're missing with certain things, that they don't realize how much tactile touch is losing. Oh, nice. That's very nice. I remember where I used to live, there was a bookseller that it was $5 a bag. And it had to be, like a normal plastic shopping bag. Whatever you could fit in there with all still being able to hold the handles together. It was $5 for a bag of books. And you got to pick the books. This wasn't just grab bags. He also ran a 2-for-1 exchange. So you brought 2 books in, you get 1 back that you can pick. I mean, obviously, that was just common paperbacks. It was literally a paperback exchange. So yeah, I got a bunch of books. I remember going to libraries and they would get rid of books that hadn't been checked out in a while, and I'd go through and start buying up their old copies. Yeah, sure, they were probably well used, but none of them were missing pages. I mean, I got old textbooks that way. Like, physical media is dying. I mean, the fact that America's largest market, and mostly the world, I don't think it's actually the largest, but the largest market that I know of was started as a bookseller, and that's called Amazon. Understand that. Books used to be such a big deal. Yeah, but they're garbage. Last I knew anyway. I know when I was taking my kids to them, it was garbage. They didn't have good books anymore. You know, and it amazes me that one of the biggest movie franchises started from books, and yet we still let them go. We're losing innovation because now people can just publish whatever they want. The publishers gate-kept publishing for so long, like they fake numbers. Like, how could a book that just released, like, be already on the New York Times bestseller list? Because the publishers were reserving copies. That's how. You know, it's ridiculous that we didn't see it. I didn't see it until later. But once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. Once I saw that it was fake, I guarantee you they're doing that with movies too. I guarantee you that half those Marvel movies that made so much money from seat sales, Disney was buying the seats. Not because those movies weren't that good, but because they had to make them look better than what they really were for their investors. You know, and that's what this all comes down to is the investors. They're trying to please this board of directors that has no idea what they're doing. These board of directors don't run companies. They literally are just people with money and they don't know what to do with it, so they invest. And they don't realize that they're investing in a circle jerk. The company that they're investing over here, that board of directors is taking that money over to this company so they can invest over here, and it just keeps cycling through, and it's the same barrel of cash that they all get acclaimed. But I wish people would understand how far this has all gone already. You know, that's why, you know, it's like, okay, gaming, they're trying to take away physical media. It's like, don't let this happen again. And don't get me wrong, I loved my e-reader, but I've never replaced it once it broke. And frankly, I've never actually replaced the books. I haven't been able to. You know, I mean, I miss all my old books. I miss having books to sit and read. Now we're losing video games. We've lost movies and TV. That's all streaming now, and it's gone so bad that we don't even know how to fix it. I guarantee you the next 5 years, we're going to have a whole bunch of creepypasta movies that aren't going to be any good because Hollywood learned the wrong lesson. You know, they're going to be looking at YouTubers and creepypastas to make movies out of. You know, and there's some good stuff there. I'm not saying that the creepypastas are not worth making movies out of. But they're going to learn the wrong lesson. They need to have the creative involved, which, I mean, especially with a lot of those creepypastas, the creative is long gone from it. They haven't thought about it in forever, and it's basically public domain. I mean, I guarantee you we're going to start seeing SCP movies right and left. Because that's unprotected. You know, they literally say, you know, copyright. There's no copyright to it. Or there wasn't last I looked. I mean, maybe there is now. But, which, I mean, we all know there's great stories in the SCPs. Especially from where it started from. I mean, it's ridiculous. But, so, I was talking with my wife earlier, and I had made the point of mentioning that modding actually destroyed the gaming communities. Modding allowed Skyrim to live a life long beyond it should have. and I'm just using Skyrim as an example because there's tons of examples. But modding actually kills games. Because it gives the publishers an excuse to put out an unfinished game because they know the community will finish it.
The grand city now, not so pretty. The street
Don't pick on your game. I'm not picking on your game.
brown.
Skyrim's a wonderful game. But when was the last time you actually played through the plot, the story?
If this is my home,
And I mean like the main storyline.
my subject, what people's this place?
It's like, I know most people get to a certain point of the Dragonborn storyline and then move on because they've got all the shouts they want. They don't really have to worry about the rest. And they just never go back because that's the end of the game and they don't want the end of the game. They want to keep playing. Hell, I knew a guy that literally did it.
Give rise to its esteem. Answer that call,
I don't even know what it's censoring there.
I will redeem. City's valor,
I play Blanknish.
we come to life, knowing nothing. Thoughts like fireflies dancing.
Oh, it probably thought it was a link. It was probably TO.fi. Got it. You played a finish? You really played a finish. Man, I don't think the wife has finished a game of that.
How can I though?
I knew one guy that specifically just went out of his way to camp.
Just a feeling with
Didn't hit a city, wanted to see how long he could survive, how high he could go by never stepping into a city.
myself I will show.
I think he kept playing that one for like 5 years. He just never. Yep, tried to collect all the books, been there. But that's the point, is that they made a world so rich that, what are we on, 15 years since Skyrim released? I know it's at least 10. And we haven't got a sequel yet. Why? Because the modding community kept the game alive.
At my core I feel something.
The company, Bethesda, didn't see a reason to put it back out there. I mean, look at Fallout. Ever since they did the Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76, they haven't seen a need to put out another game.
Shadows drag.
Even though those were both kind of dragged as MMOs. But people still play them. I mean, they're functional, they're fun. But they're not great. I mean, to me, ESO, Elder Scrolls Online is meh. It's okay, it's fun.
We come to life. Thoughts like fire.
Fallout 76, never could really get into it.
Shadows.
The wife plays it occasionally.
Is that who we
Right, Ultima Online. Hell, Ultima Online I think is still around. And yet, when was the last time we got an Ultima sequel? Ultima Online was one of the most successful MMOs, like to the point where I think it's still online. When was the last time we got an Ultima sequel? MMOs or modding, one of the two kills games. When was the last time we got a WoW sequel or a World of Warcraft sequel? Sorry, not World of Warcraft, just a Warcraft sequel. We haven't.
into the night?
I mean,
Under the moon's light. Did you watch me peek?
right. We don't actually get sequels to these games. I mean, do you ever think there's going to be a World of Warcraft 2? No, they can't do it. That's why MMOs are where games go to die. We didn't realize that initially, but that's literally what happens. I mean, EverQuest tried to make EverQuest 2 and it died. An MMO is only a single game. You can't have a sequel. It will die. And that's the problem is with these terminally online, these subscription service games, they die. because they can't funnel the money that they make off of that MMO to make a sequel without jeopardizing what pays for the sequel. Because they're not actually spending money or getting all of that money back from the game. A good chunk of that game has to go back into it to keep it running. They literally built overhead into the game so they can't even exit the game without losing a crap ton of money. It literally jeopardizes their whole business, not just business model. I mean, how many MMOs has Sony had to abandon? Because they had DCU Online. They were the ones that eventually ended up with EverQuest. They had the Lord of the Rings, and they eventually had to sell them off to somebody else. I love how when I put this up, it makes my face all red. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I mean, I could have, but it would have been fun. You know, and that's to me is really sad. We're actually stagnating because we entered into a business model that we can't get out of. Which is why I'm saying, you know, buy retro consoles. Find one you like, whether it's the Game Boy emulator or maybe there's, I mean, I'm sure there's somebody trying to make their own. Encourage indie developers that you may or may not know. Build games for those old consoles. You know, go back to the innovation of having to fit it all in just these chips that have such limited capacity that you don't know if you're going to be able to do it right. You know, I want to see people fight against this. I mean, and if Sony and Xbox have to die or Nintendo have to die to let the next ones come, let them. I don't know how else to describe that. About how sometimes you have to clear the dead wood to let the forest grow again. You know, and I think that's largely what's happening with video gaming right now. Atari's still around. They just made a shit ton of money selling their Pac-Man consoles. They're still selling their original consoles. You know, I honestly think people need to go back and buy, you know, the old Atari consoles. Show that Atari, you know, maybe there's a reason to make a 64-bit system in the Atari or a 128, you know, PlayStation level. You know, show these companies that making new content for these older consoles might actually be worthwhile. And then maybe they could get enough money to make a proper console. Sure, it's going to be expensive, but gaming's always been a luxury. You know, that's what hobbies are. They're luxuries. I think people forget that hobbies are luxuries. You know, what's the first thing to go when you don't have the money to pay, you know, to pay everything? Well, your hobbies. You know, if you have to choose between your hobby and rent, you got to get paid. You got to keep a roof over your head. You know, I mean, what was it? The Commodore 64 released a new version. Like, these old retro things are actually trying to make a comeback because the systems that took over for them, which is specifically Sony and Xbox, fucked up. They tried to make an all-in-one, and it's not working. They wanted to replace all your time with their system, and it's not going to work. I don't know what else to say about that. they shot themselves in the foot. It's hard to explain what's really going on with the whole thing. Because I love gaming. I love video games. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to shit on them. My first love of video game consoles was the Nintendo, the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment Center system. But the best one out of them, in my personal opinion, its heyday, was the N64. It was the best one they ever made. Still to this day, in my opinion. I mean, the Switch is nice, but it's no N64. The GameCube came close, but they never really pushed it to its capability. PlayStation 2 was probably the best, hands down, console I've ever played. And that was a PlayStation 2. I probably had the most games for that one. And that's probably a bit of nostalgia. But I also never had a shit ton of games for my consoles. But what games I did have, I played the crap out of. All right. You have a good one, Jade. Thank you for stopping in. And you have a good night. Sleep well. And there is an exit. We can buy these retro mod consoles. We can... Yeah. It's hard to explain how many dominoes are set up and how many are falling, and we need to figure out a way how to stop them. And the only way I can think to do it is start buying physical media. Go to your Walmart, buy up movies that you want. Go to Walmart. Well, I would say buy books, but the books are kind of ass. Go to secondhand stores, Goodwill, find books, that you want. Vote with your wallet. Show these people that they can't have you over a barrel. That you have them over a barrel. Yeah, sure, there's still going to be people that are going to bow down and buy these stupid things. But not that many people showed up for the Switch 2. And I think there is a tide turning event. I think with Sony doubling down on what they did, I think they realize they fucked up. I think they realized that they're doing it wrong. But the problem is that they're so invested they can't change it. I mean, they say, 80% of our sales are physical media. And then then limit the amount of sales they can have on their CD-ROM. That these people can buy their physical drive to add on to their PlayStation system. So people are buying this in such droves that you have to limit them to one apiece. I think something's telling me you're lying. Something's telling me that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you're selling those so quickly that you have to put a limit on, that tells me that there's more money in physical media than they're willing to tell you, and they hate it. They hate the idea that there is more money in physical media because we keep losing it. Yeah, there's good technology. There's good, stuff that you can get. I love my computer. I like my cell phone. I like having some of these things. But I also like having my movie collection, my book collection. And if I had it, actually I do have a couple of video game physical copies sitting over there. I remember when you used to buy a CD from like Walmart. a video game from Walmart, a CD, and you could enter the CD key into your library in Steam, and it would download the game. Whether or not you could technically buy the game from Steam at that time, you could still register it with Steam, and you could play that game. I mean, do people not realize how big of a deal that is? That I still have the physical copy of State of Decay before it was being sold on Steam. I registered my copy with Steam, and I could play it. That simple. And I still have that copy registered with Steam. Because I entered the CD key. I still have it. You know, I haven't sold it anywhere. You know, that we can still have these physical copies and these physical media around. We can still have uses for them even in our digital world. Why are they fighting it? Because they need you to bend over backwards and be over a barrel for them. Because they need to be able to, oh, sorry, you know, that license expired. We lost our distribution rights for that video game. So, sorry, we're going to have to delete it out of your copies. Okay. 6 months later, it's like, hey, we got that game you had back. Oh, you're going to give me my copy back? Oh, no, you have to buy it again. It's under a new contract. Really? I mean, and if you think I'm being facetious, if you think I'm lying, wait for it. Challenge me on it. And I guarantee you I'm right. Guaranteed. But I don't really know what more to say. I mean, I'm not getting a whole lot of responses from you guys, so I don't really know where to go from here. I mean, not that you guys need to respond, it's just, I know it's a lot to take in. I know that it's a lot to try and understand that the loss of physical media means more than just the loss of video games. It means the loss of tactile touch things. It means the loss of your ability even to hold a book. Your ability to even hold your controller. Honestly, if indie games are smart, if it was me, if I was the head of an indie game studio, I'd start partnering with these retro mod console makers and start porting my games over to them. You know, at least the ones that can. You know, like Mega Bonk. You know, you can port that over. You know, single player indie games. Like I'm saying, like Hollow Knight. You know, you can play Hollow Knight on an indie game. You know, especially if it's one about the size of a Switch. You can play Hollow Knight on that. Easily. Hell, people play, what is it, Ark on the Switch? Which means you can port it over into an indie, you know, as long as you have a proper cartridge size. Well, but Ark is not I mean, it's single player, but you know what I mean. You know, or indie developers making games specifically for these retro consoles. You know, if I was one of them, that's what I'd be doing. I'd make a big deal out of it too. And I'd start partnering with Steam to not just release my game on Steam, but also so use it as a storefront where people could purchase the game, the physical game, and, you know, your warehouses can ship it out.
Hydrate.
But you're kind of borrowing the cloud of Steam, and Steam's getting new stuff, and they can separate themselves even further from PlayStation and Xbox.
We've got all the time in the world, and then we've got some more.
You know what I mean? That we can push these ideas differently. I mean, Steam's fighting. And I think Steam has the wherewithal to become a marketplace again. Not just a digital billboard. You know, they've been trying to find ways to push indie developers. Well, why not start supporting the console war? You know, well, yeah, the console wars is over. Sort of. Because there never should have been a war. That was always against everybody's best interest. It was always going to make the things worse. Competition? Sure. Friendly competition? Even better. But a war? Nah, it was dumb. Everybody loses. You know, just like real life war. You know, there's no winning a war. They're just who lost the fewest. You know, and that's what they always forget. You know, I mean, that's really what it takes to win a war, is just, you know, still have more men than the other guy still standing. Yay, I won. But yeah, the war of rights, it's already, or have weapons left over? No. See, it's not just the weapons infinite, and welcome in. You've probably been lurking for a while, but welcome in. The war of rights has been around for a long time. Basically, think about the PS3 and beyond, when they started being able to sell you games through their marketplace. And they could stop sending you physical copies. And that's where the problem lies. And I think that's why people are okay with Steam. Because Steam never gave you physical copies. But they allowed you to register your physical copies with them. You know, where I have my rights to certain games in perpetuity, as far as I know. Let me see, where's my State of Decay? Yeah, State of Decay year 1 and State of Decay 2. I have both of them. Still there. You know, I don't know what else to say. You guys gonna stick around for another hour while I babble on about whatever? Or what? Because the ad's gonna be coming up soon. I wanted to double check if I was going another hour or if I was shutting it down tonight. We can babble? All right. All right. Excellent. Then I will be right back in 5.
Long all night.
nights in the blood, from down in the mud. Havana Nights is where the start got started, from the feet to the hair. It can't be purported. Flush the skin, smooth as sin, crimson skin of the body, making you feel a bit naughty. It's alright, you can't fight, let that candle burn all night. When the sun sets low, we ain't gonna slow. Fact is, we picking up the speed and drinking slop. Oh yeah. We are gonna hop all night long. We gonna hop, we ain't never stopping. Music fills the air, letting you know it's there. We can move without a care, do what moves we dare. It don't matter, it's our lair. Hell dance with a chair. The wages of work might as well be the scales of sin. Balance them with your perk, vim, vinegar, and spin. That is what you're here for. Get up onto the floor. When the sun sets low, we ain't gonna slow. Fact is, we picking up the speed and drinking slop. Oh yeah. We are gonna hop all night long. We gonna hop, we ain't never stopping. Dance, dance, move the feet. It will make you smell so sweet. The nectar dripping from you will turn the air blue. What does it matter anyway? It'll all be gone in the day. Those who ain't here are those who live in despair. Square shoes and all, they can't hear the call. Fools one and all. Fools one and all. When the sun sets low, we ain't gonna slow. Fact is, we picking up the speed and drinking slop. Oh yeah. We are gonna hop all night long. We gonna hop, we ain't never stopping.
And I'm back. And yeah, kind of a Mardi Gras song. But like I was saying, the loss of physical media is more important than just not having resale value. We're losing our want to hold anything, to tactilely touch anything. I mean, think about how many people spend extra money to have their food delivered when they have the perfect capability to go get it. But they'll spend 10 extra bucks just to get food and then complain that they don't have any money. Like, and I know there's cases where people have to do that. Don't get me wrong. I know plenty of people that have to do that. But there's others that don't. You know, I don't get it. I don't understand how people have lost the social skills. And I think part of it is the physical media. We don't have it anymore. We don't tactilely touch our media anymore. It really becomes harder to get a emotional connection with something. You know, I think that's why streaming took off, is because you're physically typing. Like, if you're at a computer, you're using a keyboard. But if you're on your phone, you're typing with your thumb. You know, there's a connection. And you have a person that's actually responding to you and your connection. Hi, baby. Speaking of, you know, physical person that's actually responding to you. You know, and it's hard to explain. I was never big into the LARP green jeans. I knew people, but I'm not sure what jugging is.
Time to leave, please don't grieve. Come on back when the time's right. We will have a devil of a time. In these barrens of pine, it is the dawning of daylight.
But,
Time is what we like.
I mean, go ahead and explain it. You know, we get this connection, but then we're afraid of a connection of, like, going out to a restaurant. We're afraid of, we're afraid of, like, interacting in a social place. Like, I used to go to Denny's. For a long time, it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'd go about 10 o'clock. I wouldn't get back home until like 2. You know, good 4 hours sitting there at Denny's. Sometimes I wouldn't get out until like 4. Okay. Hi, you can't give attention. But, well, there's still holdouts. There's still people that are like green jeans in the LARPing. You know, they still go out in physical. Yes, babies. Hi. Do you want me to pick you up? Yeah, I thought so. Ran off. It's hard to explain what 5 years, 6 years did. Now I've got your fur all over my hands, and now it's on my nose. The COVID ruined people. And I don't know how else to explain it. It pushed them into a way that now they're more easy with having things sent to them. Even though they know for a fact that DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever, is overcharging for their service. I mean, really. And I think a lot of people forget that they're not just charging you. They're charging the company too. Restaurants get a slimmer cut, so the more often you DoorDash, either the higher they have to raise their prices, which DoorDash will just take more because they take a percentage cut, or they'll just go under. You know, and that's an even bigger problem. Come on, up. No, what's up? it's destroying our societal connections. It's what's making it so much easier for us to be divided, much more polarized, because we don't actually have to exist with these people in the real world. I mean, hell, how many times do you go to somebody's place of work? Like, you go out somewhere, and even the workers are on their phone. Like, it used to be, we'd make jokes about the people that are out on a date, you know, at a restaurant, both on their phone. Well, now even the workers are sitting there on their phone. And it's not the phone that's the problem. It's the person. It's the fact that they're not paying attention to the world outside because the one in their hand feels more real. The one in their hand feels more familiar. I guess I shouldn't even say more real, it's more familiar. You know, and we're all guilty of it. You know, we're all guilty of overusing our phone or overusing technology. We all do it. But the solution is to put it down. Grab physical media. You know, I mean, streaming caught on basically because people couldn't afford to play the games or buy every game that came out, so they were watching the ones that they couldn't. You know, or looking for the ones that were worth buying. You know, and then you get talking heads like me, which, you know, is an excuse to have a social life. You know, that's really what, you know, what we're all doing is we're having an excuse of a social life. Which, I mean, oh yeah, you know, I probably shouldn't be saying that because, I mean, I get paid to do this. But it's also a good social life because we do try to do good for ourselves. But then you have things like Kai Cenat Streamer University, which I don't even understand how that guy's even popular. Somehow he got popular for having celebrities on his stream, but how did he afford those celebrities on his stream to make him popular? Like, he had to be backed by money somehow. It sounds like a douchebag. I'm confused. Oh, just Kai Cenat? They got popular because he had famous people? Oh no, that's his streamer tag. That's his name as a streamer. Is Kai Cenat. I don't even know if it's his real name or if it's whatever. I don't really care because I've never watched him. But I catch news about him here and there. And from what I understand is he just got popular by having famous people on his stream. But how did he get famous people on his stream without being popular? You know what I mean? Like there seems to be a disconnect. Something happened. You know, it's like Mr. Beast's rise. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it flat out doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, it's brain rot for kids. But who's switching it on for the kids? Like, everybody I know says, oh, I don't let my kids watch either Mr. Beast or, you know, whatnot. You know, they don't even know half of this stuff. You know, most of their kids are watching, you know, Roblox or Minecraft content. Which, yeah, Mr. Beast got started on that stuff, but he doesn't do it anymore as far as I know. So where does this all come from? And as far as I know, Kai Cenat never played Minecraft or Roblox or whatever. Maybe he did, I don't know. I just know that he's popular because he's popular. You know, and it's something that we really, I think, lose sight of, is that since 2020, there's been a rise in people that are popular for being popular, but they're really not that good. You know, I mean, it makes no sense to me. I don't understand how you can reach popularity that way. And the only thing I can figure is that it's a loss of this physical media, loss of this tactile touch lifestyle we used to have, that people are more and more disconnected. And so they're getting further and further away from me. So I don't understand anymore, you know, and I'm really not that old. I mean, I joke about being old, but I don't really disconnect myself from the popular world or, you know, the popular things other than just, you know, if it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, and it's really difficult to understand how these people got popular when I look at it and I'm just absolutely confused. Like, I know I'm not that far removed from what's popular. Or maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old man. Maybe it doesn't matter anymore. But I don't see how watching somebody jump up and down and scream and yell is worth watching. Like, wouldn't you get tired of it? Wouldn't you grow out of it? You know, if it's just the same thing over and over again? You know, and that just makes me think of the whole toddler mindset. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. But it seems so strange to me that like most of the movies, I don't even understand. Or TV shows, you know, it's like they get to a point where it's just like, what is this? You know, everybody loves Game of Thrones. And, you know, Walking Dead. But pretty much after 4 years, their stories were done. And it was just redoing the same thing over and over again, only with different people, but it's the same thing. Oh no, did you hear this guy got killed? Oh, you mean that guy they introduced just 2 seasons ago? Holy crap. You know, or... But then again, you know, I'm the guy that used to watch, you know, the old sitcoms that were basically the same thing over and over again. You know, but I also grew out of them. I don't sit there and watch those on repeat. You know, but then, you know, what's the ones that last the longest? You know, Golden Girls. I mean, even at the time, it was a rare, weird show that became popular. It was about, what was it, 5 old ladies in a friggin' retirement community in Florida. Colombo. You know, I mean, the same formula, but there was something there that's not there now. And I think a lot of it has to do with the lack of sensationalism. The lack of, like, it's self-aware. It knows what it's doing. It knows why it's doing it. Unlike with Stranger Things, Game of Thrones, you know, at this point, they're just throwing them out there because they're supposed to. It's now just become this rut. Well, they're also so similar, too. Like, my God, you know, I am getting so tired of seeing the same, 4 faces in media? You know, I mean, Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds, they look very similar. I mean, they're very different people, don't get me wrong, and they act very differently. But they're the same face. You know, Scarlett Johansson, Keira Knightley, Natalie Portman, they're all the same. They all look basically the same. They're swappable. You know, and I had so much hope when they were talking about putting more diversity in movies and TV shows. Like, everybody's up in arms about Odyssey for the wrong reasons. Like, I don't give a crap that they made Helen of Troy black. What I care about is, can the actress act the role? You know, I mean, and that's the problem is that they're not putting people in these roles that can actually act the role. Like, they're not, like Green Jean says, you lose all immersion. You know, I don't know if this lady can play Helen of Troy. I hope so. I know for damn sure, though, I'm not excited about seeing Matt Damon in it. I mean, that guy hasn't been good actor since The Bourne Identity. You know, he's lost all clout with me. I mean, hell, I'm surprised Ryan Gosling or Ryan Reynolds aren't somewhere in the Odyssey. Or The Rock. You know, they're putting him in everything else. Why not? I mean, Ryan Gosling is a great actor. I could see him as Odysseus more so than friggin' Matt Damon. You know, I mean, and plus, I mean, the costuming looks garbage. Yeah, Ryan Gosling is a really good actor. I'm saying, you know, I'm not saying that he's a bad actor, but he has the same face as 25 other actors. Hollywood has gotten so inbred that they turn out 5 different actors and actresses, and that's it. You know, I mean, I didn't even realize how homogenous the faces in Hollywood had gotten. The one lady that was in Wicked, I at first thought that was the same lady that was playing Helen of Troy. And I was really glad that she gained some weight back. Because the facial structure is the same. You know, that's the problem. It's not, you know, I mostly encounter it with white actors and how homogenous they are. You know, like, I mean, I know the joke is like, oh, you think we all look alike? It's like, well, most white actors do. You know, I'm sorry, they do. And we've been using the same. Tell me the difference between Tom Holland and Tom Cruise and Timothy Chalamet. Tell me the difference. Point to me how they are different. Like, they look very similar. You put them in their roles side by side at the same age, they might as well be triplets, or at least siblings. You know, I mean, we lost character actors. We don't have people that have character. You know, they try to turn them all into the same thing. I mean, look at how much plastic surgery happens in Hollywood, so they all end up looking the freaking same. And again, I'm not saying these people are bad actors. I'm saying they all look the same. I mean, if you gave Chris Hemsworth a buzz cut like Chris Evans and, you know, like, put them side by side, maybe both with a beard, have fun telling which one is which. You know, that's the problem. Well, not the same Tom Holland. I guarantee that. I don't know, you know, and again, I'm not trying to speak bad about the actors themselves. I'm trying to say, well, Robert Downey Jr., Benedict Cumberbatch, I know there's like 1 or 2 others that look the same to me. You know, they look vaguely similar. You know, you could literally swap visually the roles of Doctor Strange and Tony Stark, and you wouldn't really notice the difference. You really wouldn't. And I'm constantly getting Charlize Theron and Gwyneth Paltrow confused. You know, oh, hard-angled blonde. You know, face angles. Like, that's Charlize Theron. No, that was Uma Thurman. I thought it was Gwyneth Paltrow. Sorry, they're all the same to me. You know, I'm just saying, you know, I mean, if you just think about it, you know, it's like, I'm a white guy and I'm sitting here saying, you know, people of my own race, I don't actually believe in race, but people of my own color, I have a hard time telling apart. I mean, hell, if you put friggin' Sean Connery and me next to each other at the same age, we probably look pretty friggin' similar. I just don't have the Scottish brogue. You know, but we're both bald. Put glasses on him. Yep. Sean Connery from Last Crusade, like what Green Jean showed us earlier. And then me about this age. I just have to have a little bit more gray in my beard, and we'd probably look pretty similar. I don't have his gravitas, but I'm just saying that, you know, I'm just so tired of the same people. Seeing them in the same thing over and over again. Like, is Hollywood really that small? I mean, Dune had Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, and Timothy Chalamet in it. Marvel movies had Dave Bautista and Tom Holland. Jason Momoa was in the DCU movies. And he's in them again as Lobo now. But, I mean, as much as I liked Corn Sweat in the new Superman movie, he really doesn't look that much different than Timothy Chalamet or Tom Holland. He can just build bulk. Or at least he wears the suit well. And he's probably physically taller. But the facial structure is basically the same. You know, we don't hire actors with character anymore. I mean, go back to the old TV show Constantine. It's an old DC movie or TV show, and I don't mean, you know, Keanu Reeves Constantine. But the actor that played that, man, did that guy have character. You know, they were believable in the roles. But now we want it always the same, or maybe they think we do. And that's one of the things that gets me, is they keep thinking that we all want it the same when they keep losing money on these movies. Like, there's some damn good movies out there, and they're ignoring damn good actors. I mean, watch The Backrooms recently, and damn, the actors in that movie were good. Believable in the scenario, no matter how fantastical the scenario seemed. That's what brings a good movie. And most of these actors are brands. They don't make it believable. Well, like watching Black Widow recently. The characters, the actors did a good job, but it just fell flat. I mean, it deserved its ratings on IMDb. It deserved its ratings. But it just seemed flat. Like the story was flat. And it, honestly, for a movie that's supposed to be about Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, I don't think she did enough in the movie. Like, she wasn't the hero of her own movie. And nor was her successor, Yelena, didn't really seem to do enough in their own movie. It's like they couldn't decide which one they wanted to be the main character and actually pass the torch to. It felt like I was reading two different scripts written for two different characters, and each actress was given the script meant for their character, and so all the emotions were off. But they played those emotions well. Like, they did a good job. Like, there was a good, solid story there. But it felt... it felt just off. Right, but I was watching the movie. You know what I mean? Like, the Hawkeye TV show, that's fine. I even forgot that they did a Hawkeye TV show, to be honest. Which, I mean, that's fine. But you're supposed to get me to want to watch that show by watching this movie. I didn't care by the end of it. I mean, it was nice, it was fun to watch, and I moved on. As good as it was instantly forgettable. And not forgettable in the sense of, I don't remember what happened, but forgettable in the sense of, well, I don't have to watch it again. You know, it was enjoyable, it was a fun ride, but, you know, meh. It's okay. I'll move on. And that, for me, has been a lot of the later MCU. It's forgettable. There's so much going on that it doesn't really have stakes anymore. You know the heroes are going to win. So what's the point in watching it? Like, oh no, they subverted your expectations with Infinity War. You know, but keep in mind, you know, there's still Endgame. Yeah, that's when they win. Moving on. Yes, but who's gonna survive? Everybody but Black Widow. You know, I mean, they lost the idea that we're supposed to care. You know, even the new Superman kind of did that. You know, as much as I liked that one. I mean, you know that when I came out of the theater and I told people it was really damn good. I enjoyed that movie. But again, that movie was good. Oh, yeah. I guarantee you, because, I mean, I feel sorry because I think the actress that they got to play She-Hulk, I think she did a damn good job. She looked like Jennifer from the show. She at least looked like it. Did I need to see She-Hulk twerking? No. But then again, I don't like seeing anybody twerking. So I don't really judge too harshly there. You know, and my big thing is that I don't like Mark Ruffalo as Hulk. Hulk is not a teddy bear. I don't know why they made Mark Ruffalo the Hulk. I mean, plus, you know, unfortunately, the guy's very outspoken about his political views, so I can't stand him on that side either. You know, I'm tired of, and that's a large part of it, I am tired of actors telling me what I need to think. Telling me how I need to be. You're a freaking entertainer. What do you know more about it than I do? What, She-Hulk? From what I understand, it doesn't really move forward the plot at all. Like, it really doesn't do much for the wider MCU. but I don't really know that. I know it reintroduced Daredevil, and I know that from what I saw of Daredevil Born Again, like, I watched the first episode and they kill Foggy, and I'm like, fuck you, bye. Like, okay, you lost me, I'm done. I'm not watching it now. The interplay between Foggy and Matt was why Daredevil Netflix was so damn good. Flat out. And I mean that honestly. You getting rid of Foggy pisses me off. He was part of the triumvirate. And I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it for anybody, but yeah, they kill Foggy in like the first episode.
Cameras at your door. What are they there for? Making you pay.
What, She-Hulk? Yeah, I'm sure it does. But see, that's the problem with the MCU. It's always teasing something. And if it doesn't get the attention that they think they want out of it, that it'll be worth enough, they're like, it was a red herring. Or if it does get the attention they think, like, see, it was, the groundwork was laid all the way back here. You know, they're really good at faking it. And, like, I can't take it seriously anymore. At all. Like, I love watching it with the peeps. It's fun. You know, and mostly I keep my mouth shut right now. Like, seeing David Harbour as Red Guardian was great, but he was not... I don't care. I don't care if they give the characters some closure. They killed him. And they killed him so stupidly. You know, I mean, they did it to just do it. Because they didn't want to pay his contract. That's why. That's legit. I guarantee you all it was they didn't want to pay his contract. Or he didn't want to continue the show. You know, which, okay, if that's the case, give him his exit. But to do it in such a stupid way. Like, I'm sure it set up the big bad guy in Bullseye or whatnot. I don't even remember. But it just felt stupid. You know, it's not good storytelling. Like, sure, you can kill off characters that people care about. But that was empty. Foggy didn't die for any reason. He wasn't protecting somebody. He didn't get to go out like the hero he was, even though he had no superpowers. He was just gunned down in the road. That's what pissed me off about it. And I mean, right now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did go down a hero. Maybe he blocked Karen from getting hit or something. I don't remember, but I remember it felt cheap. It felt like a cheap emotional gut punch for you to be hooked by the show. Not because it had any narrative reason to be there. You know, and that was my problem with Game of Thrones. That was my problem with Walking Dead. You know, they just started killing characters because they wanted you to come back to see who they killed next. You know, would they finally kill the character you cared about? Or would they kill the character you hated? It wasn't for narrative purpose. It didn't hold a function. They did it to do it. You know, and that's the storytelling that we've lost. You know, I mean, if you have these big characters, they're supposed to go down with a purpose. Not just to subvert your expectations. And I am so tired of the subverting expectation storytelling. That they won't do the obvious thing just because you expect it. Or they won't do the thing that makes sense because you expect it. It's like, it's okay if your plot is predictable. That's okay. Sometimes that's exactly what people want. They want to feel smart by predicting the plot. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with giving the audience a win? Giving them what they want? They seem to think that it's a sin. You know, I don't know how else to put it, but it feels so dumb. You know, I have such a hard time watching certain things. Like, oh my God, Spider-Man Noir? I enjoyed the hell out of that show. Absolutely enjoyed the hell out of it. They did a great job. Nicolas Cage did a wonderful job as Spider-Man Noir. Or Spider Noir. I mean, I think they did a wonderful job. I would suggest anybody to, you know, go watch it if you can. It's worth watching. I mean, I'm also a sucker for noir, so, and I don't mean just Spider Noir, I just mean noir detective stories. But you layer on a little bit of superhero and supervillain to it, you damn Skippy, I'm gonna be right there. You just binged it hoping for season 2, same. I think they did a wonderful job. It was beautiful. So Infinite, if you get the chance, watch Spider Noir. You and Simply curl up on the couch and binge it. It is binge worthy. You know, make him relax on a day off rather than trying to do something for everybody else. Make him take some time for himself. Right? I don't know. It's just, there's so much to love about the show. And the way that they interweaved it, the origin and why and what, it was beautiful. You know, and it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain why it was so good. And why, I mean, hell, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm probably going to binge it again. Just because I really like it. I watched it in the black and white. I don't know what it looks like in color, which I'm thinking about doing a second watch through in the color, the True View color, just to see if there's a big difference. Because, I don't know, I think that sounds like fun. Because I know in the black and white, it was very, very good. I don't know, I'm just babbling now. I mean, anything you guys can think of you want to talk about? Got like another 20 minutes. But I'm just running dry. I can't think of anything right now. But I guess I'll just go back to the last, you know, the main topic of, you know, ownership. Remember to protect the ownership of whatever you own. Because right now, you know, at first it was books. Then it was movies and TV. Now it's video games. Where's it going to stop? I haven't watched it. mainly because I think Roblox, Minecraft, anything that tailors itself towards kids too young to enter into a contract should be taken away. Any video game that offers a child, a straight up child, online access to a large lobby should be shut down. Any streaming service, you hear me, Twitch, that allows anybody under the age of 18 to become a streamer should be shut down, or at least have their motives questioned. Because the simple fact is that if a child cannot enter into a contract, it's up to their parents. And the parents, 7 times out of 10 have all the best interests at heart. They're doing their best for their kids, but it's that other 30% that destroys lives, that makes it easier to prey upon the next generation. I mean, you see how these child streamers who are now getting old enough to be adults, you know, Jack Doherty, Mr. Beast, you know, just watch what's happened to these kids as they grew up with all this attention. It's destroyed them. They don't understand what the real world is. Like, they just don't get it. It's the same thing of movie star kids. You know, kids that were movie stars. You know, and these poor kids that are on Roblox that have no idea who they're really talking to and don't really have any idea of online safety. And these parents that just let their kids do it. Like, sure, 80-90% of the people out there are fine. But I wouldn't subject my kids to that for the 10%, for the risk of that 10% finding them. I don't know of a parent that, that should have kids that would let that happen. You know, but these are also the same parents that can't be bothered to actually pay attention to their kids, so they just hand them an iPad. You know, some tablet, their phone. Because they can't be bothered to be a parent. You know, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that you can't interact with your child. That you can't sit there and teach and train your child. That your child is now being subjected to pedos online because you couldn't be bothered. You didn't deserve to have kids. Maybe that's a harsh fucking statement. I don't care. As a parent that did take that risk, as a parent that took my kids by the hand and we played video games together, as a parent that sat over their shoulder, kind of, I mean, I wasn't like hovering, but I was there in the room when they were playing online. I was watching TV. They were on the computer, but I was right there. I would look over and see what they were doing to make sure they were doing what they said they were doing. I took that effort to make sure that my kids grew up the best way I knew how. Oh, but the kids, all use these things and they won't know how to use them. Bullshit. That stuff is so easily learned. You can learn it at any age. There's 70-year-old people that are learning how to use an iPad. You think your 18-year-old will feel so disconnected that they won't know how to use a tablet? Don't have a whole lot of faith in your kid, do you? Like, oh, but they will miss out on all these memes. Maybe that's a good thing. Memes don't last. But the books you taught them how to read will. The time you made them spending entertaining themselves means a lot. It's a big deal. It's a big deal to learn how to entertain yourself, how to sit there and be, to draw, to paint, to create something, some kind of inner world, some kind of self-confidence in your own abilities, even if it's in just this thing. That self-confidence grows like a fucking tree. I don't know how else to put it, you know, but if parents can't be bothered to take the iPad out of their kids' hands, to deal with the tantrum the kid's going to put up with or put out there because you took their electronics away, maybe you should rethink why you were a parent. Were you a parent just to have a trophy? Or were you a parent to try and make a good human being that has a better chance at life than you had? Because that's what I was doing. I may not have done it right, but I tried. I did my best to raise my kids to have a better life, a better start in life than I had. Albeit I didn't actually have that hard of a... that wasn't a big bar to get over to have a better start than I had. And yes, I do have strong feelings over this. I do have strong feelings over parents that can't be bothered to take a long car ride with their kid. Well, they're just sitting there yelling and screaming. It's like, well, maybe you should talk to them. Tell them a story while you're driving. Listen to music and sing along. Teach them to sing along with the music. I mean, come on. Yeah. But the problem is Green Jeans, most of these parents don't even know they're giving up. They don't realize that that's what they're doing. All they know is that they want their time on their electronics, so why not just give the electronic to the kid? Not realizing that if they actually spend time with their kid and away from their electronics, sorry, I had to mute that one. That one was loud. That was a full-on dad sneeze. I've been fighting. I don't know if you noticed, I've been playing with my nose, trying to get it to stop. But the problem is the parents don't even know they gave up. They don't see it as giving up. They see it as giving their kid a better chance at life because they're introducing them to electronics, what the whole world is based on. They don't see it as actually giving up on their kid. But all it takes is a moment to think and go, oh, wait, if I'm not teaching my kids who is, what is, what are they learning from it? You know, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take a 10% chance that my kid's going to run into some pedo online. You know, exchanging emails with somebody that they think is a 13-year-old Kimberly, which is actually a 31-year-old Kenny. I'm sorry, but that risk is too high for me. So what if my kids are going to hate me for it? What if my kids are going to sit there and complain, whine, and bitch and moan because, oh, my friends have cell phones? Yeah, you don't need one, though. Why do you need a cell phone? Well, my friends have tablets. You have a computer. Yeah, but it's in the front room. What are you trying to hide? Well, I'm not trying to hide anything. Then why do you need a computer in your room? I don't have a computer in my room. I don't even have a TV in my room. I still don't. I don't see the point in having a TV in my room. I don't see a point in having a computer in my room. You know, one of these days I might have an office, might have a room for all of this. Maybe. But then again, I'm not trying to hide anything I'm doing. I don't understand why I would need to. I think that's the big issue is that I think these parents need to understand or question themselves on the motive of why they want a TV in their room or their own video game console in their room. What are you doing that you don't want your kids to know you're doing? Well, I just don't want to be bothered. You're a parent. So you're telling me you want to be locked away and unavailable from your kids. Why? Well, I just need my alone time. Give them a bedtime. Oh, but they don't actually go to sleep. Don't care. You give them a bedtime, you put them in their room, and they stay in their room. If they're up reading, and if they don't have any electronics in your room, because, again, I don't have I didn't let mine have computers in their room. So they had a chance to read in their room or draw. Okay. Wasn't my ass that was getting up groggy in the morning. Give them a bedtime. They go to bed earlier than you. You stick to your guns as a parent. You have to. You have to. You have to be the hard ass. You have to be the enemy to your kids. If you're not, you have to worry that you're not doing something right. Because if your kids don't say, I hate you every once in a while, or I hate what you're doing to me, or why are you making me do my chores, or why are you making me do my homework? You might have to ask yourself, why isn't your kid complaining that you're making them do something? That's part of being a good parent, is forming the good habits now so they have the good habits later. When either they go to college or when they get a job, they have to have good habits. Otherwise, you're just setting them up for failure. You're setting them up to have to learn all this crap on their own. And I know how hard that is. I know how hard it is to learn a bunch of crap that your parents didn't teach you on your own. It freaking sucks. Absolutely. And I wasn't going to do that to my kids. If I could help it, I wanted to teach them everything I possibly could teach them. Okay, I think I've ranted enough on that one. Sorry. I've just seen... I had friends growing... not growing up, but I had friends that had kids all the way back in Centralia that would only parent their kid when I'd pop in. They are good noodles. Even though the oldest one isn't talking to me right now, it's because I said something that I thought was right at the time. And maybe I was wrong, maybe I was right. That's not the point. And it pissed her off, so now she's not talking to me. I know she's fine because she talks to her sister still, and her sister, would tell me if something was going on. I don't ask a whole lot. But I know that she's still got a good head on her shoulders. She's still doing what she needs to. That's all I need to know. Because I have confidence in my kid, that my kid's fine. Even if I don't hear from them. I'm not worried about what might be going on, because I know my kid's tough. She'll make it one way or the other. Sure, it'd probably be easier if she had mom and dad to talk to and ask her, advice. But she also surrounded herself with good people. So she has good options to ask for advice. It sucks that she's not talking to me. Yeah, it does. It does suck. I wish she would. But what am I supposed to do? Force her to talk to me? No. She's an adult now. She can make her own decisions. But because I made the good choices back then, I'm not super worried about what's going on with her. I don't know how else to explain that, but I have confidence in her to be her own person. She doesn't need me. As much as it sucks as a dad going, you know, and it's kind of what I meant when I was talking when I was watching Black Widow. You know, and the Red Guardian says, you know, one of the kids asked him if he had anything to say, and he just said, I'd probably screw it up. Been there. I know that feeling. Where I mean something with the best of intentions, but somehow I said it with all the wrong ways, even though I meant the right, you know, what I thought was the right thing at the time. We all go through it. There's not much we can do about it. We're going to say something to somebody that's going to piss them off. But I'm not going to apologize for saying what I thought was the right thing at the right time. Unless you can point to me where I was wrong. You tell me I'm wrong, you point out, like, this is where you went wrong, I will apologize for that. Hell, I'll apologize for the way I said something, but not necessarily what I said. You know, because that's a thing too. But yeah, I think it's about time to wrap it up. Remember, find physical media that you want to keep around you, whether it's movies, books, video games. Buy the physical copies if you get the opportunity. If you have the option, do it. Because that's important. Not just for telling businesses this is what you want, but it's important for you to have a tactile thing to hold on to touch, to feel. We're losing too much of that now. We're losing the physical, tactile sensation. The things that anchor us to our hobbies, to the things we love. We need that anchor. Mankind is meant, I mean, what's one of the first things we do as a child? As a baby, we reach out and touch things. I mean, we're constantly trying to grab. Because that tactile sensation is important. And we need to remember that. We need to remember that that is what's important. To feel things in our hands, to touch, to go out to a restaurant and sit and feel the coffee mug or whatever, the drink cup, and sit and talk with somebody in real life. Even if it's somebody at a, you know, just the random server, go to a restaurant by yourself and just talk with the server. You might be surprised if you go at the right times and it's dead. You might get a good conversation. You might even make a friend. Oh my God, an IRL friend. How many of you have those that aren't family? Anyway, I love you guys. Hope you had fun. Hope I didn't annoy anybody too much. I hope to see you here tomorrow, where we pick back up with Drawing the Thin Man. Have a good night. And may you have a wonderful night until next time. Bye-bye.